I got a modified gel pen, purple but looks black in the dark. I know a corporation that claims to help the blind, but it won't help the kid who can't tell magenta from the other shades of purples, or even gray.
Hello listeners, welcome to Keeping It 1492. We are back for episode 4-5, the Big 45, Michael Jordan's second number, technically 30, we're 12 once. It's Tom, I'm here with Kyle. Josh is absent today. How's it going, Kyle? We're back.
Going good. I'm just wondering who that musician was and why haven't I heard them on 98 PXY yet?
That future number one artist. Forget Post Malone. I don't know. He doesn't have a name yet. Oh, we're getting mooned by someone.
Gosh.
This is why we don't record in the living room.
We might as well be on the side of the throughway right now.
Yep, might as well. Hobos.
Yep.
He doesn't have a name yet. The guy that actually just mooned us had proposed that he be called downstairs Kyle, but I don't think that's where that person we don't know of in that snippet might go by.
I'm thinking T-Bone.
T-Bone. Your alter ego is going to be T-Bone.
Wait, me? No, I thought the person that mooned us.
No, I was talking about your musician name.
Oh.
That's why I was really confused.
Oh.
The person that mooned us wanted to call you downstairs Kyle.
Oh.
You weren't really a fan of that.
I was just distracted by the mooning. So.
Is he still doing it? My back's
no,
too. Okay.
No.
Good. Wonderful. So yeah, listeners, that was a little snippet of Kyle's, was it 8 album, 11 album masterpiece that we're working on. Thought I'd play a little tidbit to give our 10 listeners a little peek behind the curtain to what is coming at some point this millennia.
I like to do the Dr. Dre style of producing. Even though you're kind of the producer, but we're gonna keep you hanging for about a decade, and we'll see what happens.
It's good. I was playing with that today, so I found a way to make it a little bit louder and not sound like it's choking down a microphone. So I was playing with some of the little editing tools more than what we do for this podcast, which is hit, compress, and normalize, and hope it all works out.
Yeah, we're pretty lo-fi, but we make it work. I say we are still better than the BBC History podcast.
On BBC 4.
BBC 4 History, and they also have a philosophy one too.
Well, I would argue that we are the best podcast in the Park Ave neighborhood in Rochester.
Yeah.
At least between streets A and F.
The ABC neighborhood.
Yes. But
not to be confused with Ave, D, and those...
It's also a lie because the streets only go up to like G or H.
Well, it's Gerard, and then is there an H?
I don't know. That's why it goes up to G or H.
I feel like
it doesn't go all the way to Z. I know that.
We should break into the Frank Lloyd Wright house that's on East Boulevard.
They're gonna know where we live. You're getting too close. You're letting them geolocate us too much.
I Google Maps your house the other day, and it gave me one of our roommates living in the house is on the porch.
He still has not left that stoop, people. 3 years later.
Clearly identifiable person, even with the face blurred.
I hope everyone had a great Halloween. We are recording the day after. Really going to timestamp this episode.
All Saints Day.
And hope you had a great Halloween.
Hope you have a good All Souls Day tomorrow.
I spent mine watching the 4-hour Ghost Adventures live, and it was truly mind-blowing. Learned a lot about myself. Learned a lot about the ghost. Learned a lot about how you do live ghost hunting.
What's the main guy's name again?
Zach Baggins.
Zach Baggins? Baggins, like Bilbo Baggins?
Yes.
That's why he likes adventure so much.
They actually were in his museum he owns in Las Vegas.
He owns a museum?
Of haunted things.
A ghost museum?
Yes. They got like 60,000 visitors last year. So he's parlayed.
I'm going to Vegas in January. I know where I'm going.
He's parlayed his ghost hunting fame into being the owner of a functioning museum.
He lives in a museum where people come to see him.
And it's all this haunted stuff, so they say, like, it was previously like possibly haunted house, but because there's all this haunted stuff in it now, it's super, super haunted. And they have the most haunted...
Oh.
They have the alleged most haunted item in it called a Dybbuk box, which has a Dybbuk in it.
Is that like the box from Hellraiser?
Sure.
What's a Dybbuk?
It's a type of very malicious demon. So yesterday, like, the big finale was they were going to open the box. When you open the box, you need a rabbi to close the box again. And then, like, they brought the rabbi in, because it's all live. He, like, asked him a question, and he didn't actually know how to close the box. So they got scared about opening the box. And I fell asleep before I could find out if they opened the box or not. But they had salt all around it, so, like, the demon couldn't escape.
Saws?
Salt.
Oh.
If you, like, put salt all around it, apparently it's something where demons can't cross a threshold of
that's
salt.
why when you summon a demon, you do it in a circle of salt.
Because, funny enough, about 2 months ago, Zach Baggins, your boy, he gave Post Malone, the alleged rapper, a private tour where he took the glass off the box, because the Dybbuk box is encased in glass, as well as being shut. He took it off. He touched the box, then Post Malone touched his shoulder, and they both acted really weird afterwards, because they have security cameras. And then, like, the next week, Post Malone's plane had to make an emergency landing. He crashed his car. So he's saying he was haunted now.
Was he on the show?
No, this was just at his museum.
Wow. I just didn't know if Post Malone was like, hey, this happened to me.
Yeah, if you're famous enough, you can get drunk and visit the museum.
Holy shit, I'm going. I'm fucking going in January.
You should definitely go to this museum. And the tour guides all claim that really weird stuff happens to you. Like, you get these weird feelings. One woman alleges that a demon carved hate into her arm.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyway, it was pretty...
Did he at any point put his head into a metal door and said, "Go ahead, close the door on my head. I know you want to."
No.
I like when he does that.
But he did bring... Oh, funny thing. He has a documentary called Demon House. I watched it. It's about this house in Gary, Indiana that allegedly had over 200 demons in it. So what he did...
Never trust a town that's somebody's first name.
So this is the best part. The documentary was really bad. But he bought the house. He tore down the house. Because it was so haunted, he destroyed the house. This is all real. He really bought a house, then destroyed it because it was so haunted. This is all factually accurate. Verified on the show last night.
Just like Curse of Oak Island.
So here's the cool... Actually, new season starts soon. You better be ready.
I know. I saw the commercial.
Me too.
Looked pretty big.
So what they did, they kept part of the basement stairs.
Big mistake.
The dirt from the basement and brought it to the museum. You will see the Demon House stairs when you go in January. And it's one of the most haunted places.
Why didn't they have a rabbi bless that dirt?
I don't know. The rabbi couldn't even stop the Dybbuk if it came out, so...
Was it did the rabbi call it a Meshuggah?
No. I did not hear any of those terms. And they're offensive.
I just thought that's like their name for a demon or something.
So
probably,
it was...
Probably something else, though.
I did like it, because just seeing how the hell do you program a live 4-hour ghost hunt? And there was a few times where he was so overwhelmed, he had to cut to commercial break.
Wow. Tostinos, I hope you're ready. I just need to...
Like, because all the emotions he feels. One time he's like, go to break. I gotta go. Just go to break. Please, go to break.
I wanted to be a paranormal investigator when I grew up. Because when we were kids, like, people... You know, I rag on the History Channel for showing bogus programming now. But when I was a kid, it was all Chupacabra, Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts.
That's where Travel Channel came in. That's all they air
started
now.
doing that too. And I used to watch the original Ghost Hunters. Ghost Adventure is definitely a better, more exciting show. But the original Ghost Hunters, these guys show up and it says their degrees. They got like college degrees in demonology. I wanted a college degree in demonology.
Were those the people from TAPS?
Yeah, TAPS.
One of those guys was from Canandaigua. He was born and raised there.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Canandaigua, I'm sure there's some spooky haunted places there.
They did a Going Home episode, which they investigated, tongue-tied there. They investigated the armory. That was their coming home episode for him.
Is that on Main Street in Canandaigua?
That's Main Street in Rochester. Not Main Street. The armory. The venue.
Oh, they went to the Rochester one.
That was his coming home, though, was they investigated that one.
Well, they also, when I was at the library, they went to the Rundell Library, the Central Library downtown.
It's also...
There's a ghost in the upper stacks, which is where I used to go to look at historical things and like pick things up for the society that was upstairs
and make moves.
Gotta tell you, it was a very spooky place. You ride one of those old elevators down with like the gate closed, and it's just dark, and they just store all the old books no one wants to take out anymore. And then in the lower stacks, there's a trap door to get into the Rochester subway, which of course no longer exists.
It's a trap door?
There's a trap door in the lower stacks of the library, and now it just leads to this like empty space that used to be the subway.
Were there homeless people in there?
I heard they're like filling it in and stuff, which is a shame because they had all these ideas to create like a park or like a skate park.
See, I always thought filling it in meant you like pour concrete the whole way, when really you just fill in all the exits to make it impermeable. You know, like I thought
guess so.
Like they filled the whole subway system in with like
You're
concrete,
right. That's what I pictured too.
But you just put a good layer in front of the entrances.
I've never been inside. I took a good peek inside because right by, I don't know if it's still there. They might have closed this up already. But by the War Memorial, like if you're walking by the bridge and kind of go by the side entrance of the War Memorial, there's like a big sign with like the history of the subway. And it's like Rochester subway system. And there's just an opening where like anyone can just walk right in. And it's full of graffiti. It's a big place for graffiti artists. One of my ex-girlfriends, probably my coolest ex-girlfriend. No.
There's only one of them. Ayo.
No, there's a couple. No. But before I met her, she went to a party in the subway, like all these like crazy punks were throwing, and people like lit up the whole subway with tea candles. And everyone was just wearing mass spray painting while like punk rock bands are playing. And then they had one of those like cherry picker machines down there to do construction. Someone like hacked into it and was driving it around.
Wow.
We missed out on being able to get into that subway if they started to close it already.
Because I went to college did a video project on it in one of my film classes. It wasn't very good.
No.
All right, so that is our Halloween section for this evening. I wanted to start a little, atypical, because today's the day after Halloween, and B, a bit more lighthearted, because Kyle has some stuff to talk about, and he wants to get super serial. So listeners, if you were here for the fun part, you can stop listening now. Kyle, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, we've had some pretty horrific stuff happening over the last weekend. First off, they caught the mega bomber, this guy that we don't have to get into like the summary of what happened. I'm sure everyone knows all that, but this guy with his van that clearly had Trump stickers all over it, he sent pipe bombs, or attempted to send them, to various Democrat leaders, including what was the guy? Was it Robert De Niro? His restaurant?
No, Tribeca Films. It's the film company he owns. That's where that one was sent to.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like his restaurant or something. But
no, Pete. Yeah.
And with that guy, I think what concerns me most is the reaction of rather mainstream conservatives. You have Rush Limbaugh and others just immediately jumping on the idea that this is some conspiracy, it was a setup. And while I love conspiracy theories, I think it's really dangerous that we're living in this world where everyone's just immediately jumping on where everything is a setup, where somehow it's inconceivable that the president could inspire such a thing. And
it's not like words matter or people act upon them.
And just I don't know, like, is this...
My favorite thing is that the liberals, he's a liberal, like, scapegoat, like, paid by the liberals.
Well, that's what everyone's thinking on, like, the right side.
Here's the thing I don't get.
It's not even just fringe people. It's not Alex Jones.
But they were working bombs. People. Like, not they need to poke holes in a obviously not true theory. Why would they send working bombs to themselves? Or whoever spearheaded this, why would you send an actual bomb that could harm you to people that you're friends to in an attempt to make a statement?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is
You're
just
the conspiracy theory guy. I'm asking you.
No, I mean, to me, this is tough because I don't think it mattered. The logic doesn't matter. The logic stopped mattering a long time ago.
It really, really should.
The logic stopped mattering a long time ago. This is more about just people trying to push their agenda over others, and we're not going to beat it through logic. How will we beat it?
By being more crazy? Like a crazy off?
Well, that's the problem is as soon as the left gets crazy, then the right appeals to logic, and the left, their problem is, which shouldn't be a problem, is that they don't want to be the people associated with that craziness. So it's kind of like, when a left-wing person, if they do something that's rather extreme, all of a sudden they're just like, whoa, slow down. I thought you're all about peace and love. But you try to apply the same thing to the right, which they've been having more of these issues of late. It's inapplicable. They don't care. It doesn't apply to them.
I know, like I don't want to get in the politics thing. It's not enough. But when Trump came out and did the whole, this is bad, we shouldn't have political violence, the utter lack of actual empathy. Like, he couldn't actually name who they were said to. Obviously, everything the president says is scripted. Someone writes it. He's just so bad at showing any sort of empathy whenever he says bad news or tries to act like something bad that he's not like, haha, that's funny.
Well, that's a good segue into the next tragedy.
Because he was really bad at empathy with this one, too.
Yes, someone shot up a synagogue, and I listened to more of the details. I didn't really look into the details. Listened to some more of them this morning. And we're talking about, like, elderly people were ushered into, like, a supply closet in the synagogue. The rabbi ushered them in there while the shooting was happening. An 88-year-old man, there was some silence. He opened the door to see if the coast was clear. He was gunned down, an 88-year-old man. And one of the first things I read of Trump's reaction was, if they had protection, things would have been better, or something along those lines.
Like, why is that? Again,
that should be people's...
That's the first reaction. No empathy, and if we had more guns, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's
not like this is a tragedy, like, we need to be better about this, like... Not like my hateful language might have played any part in this happening.
I'm not religious, but if I was, and like my idealistic view of religion, I don't think people like the idea of having armed guards at the door of their churches, synagogues, places of worship.
Well, it's supposed to be a holy, peaceful place where bad things don't happen.
Exactly.
Like schools. But let's give people in schools guns as well.
I could almost understand giving people in school, like security guards in schools, guns. I'm against it, but I could see that more so than churches and places of worship.
No, pretty soon all 330 million Americans will have guns. Well, the ones that already don't. We'll give a kid at 2 can pull a trigger. Give them a gun as soon as they turn 3.
This was the worst massacre of Jewish people on American soil in American history. 11 people dead, which I think is surprising. Like you think something like this would have happened far in the past, but it hasn't, because that was elsewhere. That was Germany, the Holocaust. But like these things happening back to back, along with other right-wing violence that hasn't been condemned at the highest, most level.
And to these people,
this is what makes me fearful of like the brown shirts are coming, like proto.
Here's the thing: if it's not condoned in their minds, it's okay. They think it's okay anyway, but like it's not being condemned by the our most visible. I hate saying this, but the president is the most visible person in your country, especially in America with 24/7 news.
Yeah. And
our most visible person, who's supposed to represent all of us, can't actually show emotion to condemn people being killed in a church. Someone sending bombs to kill people. No empathy.
Well, so the guy that shot up the synagogue was on some social media platform for people with extremist views. I think it's called, like, I should know the name, like Gabber or something like that, Gab. And the last thing he posted on there was, screw the optics, I'm going in. Because that's where we're at now, is people that have those hateful views, the only reason they don't want to go shooting up people that they hate is for the optics. So is that our greatest hope, is that we can allow and condone, wink and nod to these hateful groups, and hope that they won't do this stuff because the optics will look bad?
No, like people have always thought like this. We always have a minority of people that have had these views and think it's okay. It just seems like for the past 2 years, it's somehow like a wink wink, as you said, and it's okay to do this. Yeah, I understand 99% of the world and America knows it's wrong, but when the 1% that's representing your country seems to not condemn it, it sends the message to that small minority that this stuff is okay. Even if they spend the rest of their life in prison and get caught, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it all goes back to, like Charlottesville. There's good people on both sides. Not saying anything about Heather Heyer that was ran over. And yeah, I mean, I guess where do we go from here? What will the future look like? Is this a downward world spiral along with other things that will just get worse?
Well, there's, at least in a very broad scope, and it comes back to the not caring or passive condoning of it. Like, instead of being proactive to stop it or being out there, it's just, I don't know. I'm very frustrated because it's not like I was right, I told you so. But the fact more of this stuff hasn't happened actually blows my mind. Just based around the Reddit and people feeding into it, I'm honestly shocked this doesn't happen more. That may not be a nice thing. I know it's not a cool thing to say, but just broad scope, looking at it like that, I'm really shocked. It's not. This week it was.
I haven't really looked at it like that, but I agree with you. And to me, that brings up the fear that this could easily, something could happen that'll easily make it happen more so. Like right now, there's that fear. They keep saying this caravan of migrants is coming to America.
Oh, and they're how many months away from possibly even getting to our border?
Yeah, and they're saying, which I think there is some truth to these people coming, but it's...
Did you know George Soros is also funding them coming here somehow? Have you seen that one?
No, he's funding everything.
But let's just say they're about 3 months march away, and they have to get through Mexico first. Let's keep that in perspective. Trump sent 800 troops to the border for the migrant crisis. Coincidentally, it's about a week away from midterm elections, just to keep that fear-mongering in people's minds. But they are months, and they have to get through multiple countries.
Well, like Trump said, we got to stop focusing on all of the bomb stuff and start focusing on politics.
Yeah. Well, he what do you think his initial reaction was? Like, let's just be in his mind or be in that room. What do you think his very first reaction was at 7:30 in the morning when one of his aides or top security people told him that multiple bombs were sent to leading Democrats in the country, and they were working bombs, not a hoax?
Probably they're trying to make me look bad.
I'm pretty much with you. Like I see a little smirk, and then him saying something to that effect. Like, what are they gonna? They're gonna put this on me somehow. Who's they?
It doesn't matter to him. It's just everyone against him.
Like CNN sent a bomb to themselves.
Yeah.
Because the weirdest part about that, well, not weirdest, craziest part was they broadcast live, and you see them doing an evacuation live. Because you hear like all the alarms going off at CNN, and then they had to cut. They immediately cut to a different broadcast, whether it's West Coast, Europe, wherever, and they all are ushered out.
Wow.
So yeah, we've gotten to a place where this type of behavior seems to be passively accepted.
I mean, it's like the whole migrant thing. It's like, is nobody looking into like why they need to flee where they're coming from?
No, they don't care about the massive poverty, homelessness,
which the U.S. is kind of implicated in by controlling their economic system.
That's not true. The U.S. was never in the Caribbean, man, or Central America. What are you talking about? All we did was build a canal through Panama.
We just carried a big stick, that's all.
Yep. And we don't, and we talk softly. We're killing them softly with our big stick, folks.
Yes. Old Che Guevara, he was just jealous of our freedom.
Yeah. So I don't really have anything else to talk about, and that was like a really heavy 15 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I'm trying to decompress.
I thought it'd be like easier to talk about, and then it just got tough to talk about as I was doing it.
So I think we'll circle back to the beginning. So to our listeners, if you made it this far, if you turned off after 15 minutes of Halloween talk, understand. So for the one brave listener still with us, possibly, we definitely want to get Kyle's album out. I think we're going to work on some more stuff tomorrow, possibly. I mean, even if it's a song or two, I would think after months and months of talking. The
music stand should be here tomorrow, by the way.
Coincidental? I think not. Watch, it gets delayed.
It's lost in the migrant caravan.
Well,
because for some reason it's coming from South America.
Yeah, if it's guaranteed shipping, it'll be here. I have faith that it will be here tomorrow. It does suck.
Maybe I'll get a free music stand.
We have to go to the basement, though. Our basement's very cold, listener, so going down there is not the most pleasant experience.
I think it's better to make music down there, though.
I think because it's all concrete, the echoes are...
Well, that too, yeah.
It's just better acoustics. Kyle, is there anything else you want to talk about? I prematurely, after the heaviness of that, I kind of ended it a bit abruptly.
Hey, the world, scary place right now. We might be changing soon. We might have to get used to being more self-sufficient, living with less electricity. We might have to learn how to farm in our backyards, how to shoot things. Hopefully not. Hopefully neighbors will prevail. The ABC neighborhood will be like Sesame Street.
Best podcast in Rochester. Number 1 in a 5-block radius.
Yes. But hey,
epicenter of Halloween/tragedy podcast.
I was thinking about Albert Camus, the existentialist philosopher lately. All we can do is rebel. We might not, it might not be worth it to try to win this unwinnable battle, but don't fall into their traps of, poisonous mindsets. It's not your fault. Rebel, live your life, make it yours, and that's that. Keep it 1492.
Yeah, thank everyone for listening. I hope we'll be back next week as well. Possibly with Josh. We don't know. I don't know if he's gone to full hibernation for winter yet. He might still be fattening himself up to sleep. We'll find out. Again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. I'm going to send you out with the best noise.